Hello, welcome to the channel and thanks for joining me. So today we're going to take a look at this little JVC radio cassette recorder, and this is the RC-222LB. And this particular unit dates, I believe, from the late 70s, around 1978 I think, and it's in lovely condition on the face of it. It's a bit dusty, it needs a bit of a clean, that's for sure. But these are particularly rare units, especially here in the UK. And this is the LB, which is the UK model. I saw one or two of them over the years stateside, and what with import costs and shipping and stuff like that, VAT, they were becoming prohibitively expensive even to bring a fairly cheap one over. And I had the opportunity recently to get hold of a nice tidy UK version. So here it is. And I don't know anything much about it. I haven't even tried it out yet to see whether or not it works. It could be an absolute peach, or it might just be a basket case really. So I guess we'll find out together now. So the plan really is just to take a quick look. It might just be a quick show and tell, or it might be a complete strip down and service yet. So we'll have a look in a moment. But on the face of it, all the knobs, switches, buttons are all present and correct. And indeed the aerial is also intact. It's not bent. The tip is present. And the handle is complete and in good condition as well, so that's great. Everything looks pretty good on it, to be honest. It's not really marked or banged about too much. I noticed there were a few little scratches just in there, and that's where you'd adjust the head azimuth alignment. So I don't know if that's just a coincidence that there's a few scratches on the front, or whether it does sound a bit off and it might need looking at. So we'll figure that out. So essentially on this, what we've got is a radio and tape master switch there. You've got FM, medium wave and long wave, and this model I believe has got a built-in AFC to lock into the frequencies on FM, so that'd be quite nice. It also sported the one-touch record, and you'll see it just there with the record button built within the sort of perimeter of the play button, if you like. So the play would work there, record just one press and away you go. What I love about this though is that interestingly, I'm just interrupting myself, I noticed that it started working, I think, because it's already plugged in ready to test. But what I love about these are the way the buttons actually light up. They've got like almost like a day glow sticker on the front. So if you watch the little square, and that lights up just there to show what's being used. Rewind. There you go. So that's really cool. Now, I heard something going then. The motor was going. I held my own suspense, so I don't know whether or not the spindles were turning or anything like that yet. So we'll figure that out in a second. But yeah, as I say, it's in lovely condition overall. The knobs are all present. And yeah, it looks like it's all going to be okay. Original stickers down here as well. Really tidy. I reckon this is going to polish up a treat. So I think first thing we'll do is actually try the radio. So where's the volume? Down there. Set the tone halfway, volume to 0. I'll put the aerial up a little bit just to give it a bit of a chance. Incidentally, you can also input a microphone into here, and there's a record playback 5-pin DIN as well, and an earphone out with the monitor on off switch just there. So here we go then, let's get the radio on. So FM, oh hello, right, there we go. That's why I always start with the volume on minimum. That was very scratchy, very noisy. Let's see what we've got. Okay, so there's nothing there. When you touch it, it's really loud. As soon as you whisper on it, it just kind of wants to crackle. Let's see if we can get something on. There we go. It's obviously not been used for a very long time. And sometimes all you need to do is work the control. Don't need to even clean it internally per se. But we'll see if that'll clean up. Anyway. Right. So we're on FM. There's not much volume coming out, but it could be a very weak station. So let's... Here we go. That's better. Okay, good. It's a very smooth control actually.
On a hood in the middle of the woods.
Yeah, and I went up to about volume 5 then, and that was sounding lovely. So I'm happy with that. FM's good. And to be honest, in this day and age, that's pretty much the only thing left. So certainly for mainstream and for listening to music and stuff like that. So as long as we've got FM at the moment, I'm fairly happy, I think. Let's have a look. Yeah.
concept of another separate existence.
Alright, well, let's get this onto tape. Eject. And we put the aerial back down, so I don't want to risk damaging it while we're not using the radio. Okay, does it look like a complete mess in there? It looks pretty clean. So press play now. Okay, nice and strong. And I've just got my finger here on the capstan and the pinch roller, and you may see the ferrite that's just come up on my finger there. So it's not desperately clean in there, but it's not too gross either. Anyway, it's playing, so let's just fast forward. That's working. And rewind. That appears to be working as well. Good stuff. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put a cassette in then and see what happens. So here we go.
Let the moon shine, blow around our face and let the sun shine on.
All right, well, it's playing, it's fast forwarding, it's rewinding. So I think what we're going to do is just take it apart. We'll just have a look, really. I think this might just be a bit of a show and tell more than anything. So I think what we'll do is get the back case off, maybe clean the switches, just have a look at the cassette mechanism. I might not even bother changing the belts, to be honest, today, but we'll see what we've got inside and just take a look at it, give the thing a whole decent deep clean and a polish, really, and then maybe play out with a bit more music at the end. But anyway, let's get the back off and take a look inside. Right, the first thing then is we'll undo the screws on the back casing. I can see two there, and I'm just going to check the battery compartment. Yeah, there's a screw in the bottom here as well, so it's very clean in here. Actually, the contacts look quite nice. So what we'll do, get these screws out. There's always one that doesn't want to come out, isn't there? Anyways, right, so it looks like the faceplate is the part that comes off. So we've probably got to remove the knobs. Very deep set, these ones. Had to use a guitar pick to get under one of them in the end. Nothing else would get through. It's quite deep set, and because it's actually constrained almost all the way around its perimeter, it's hard to get two sides open at once. But anyway, we've got it off, which is good. There we go. Okay, so it looks like it rotates up and off. And we've got the speaker connector just here. And it's a 3.2 ohm, 1.6 watts. There we go. Needs a dust, needs a bit of a clean, but actually, that's lovely. And there's no real sort of metal parts really, apart from obviously the speaker just there and the spring clip. So it'll be easy to give this a good decent wash and a clean, wipe it down. Okay, so what does that give us then? Well, it gives us beautiful access to the cassette deck, I've got to say. I mean, like, you know, there it is. Now, the motor doesn't have any speed adjustment on it, so not that it was a problem anyway, but that was worth noting. There might be a variable resistor or something underneath, but in any event, look, here's our switch. I'm just going to zoom in a touch. So here's our little switch here, which is obviously remotely actuated from the top. So we'll get a bit of cleaner in there, I think, and some lube. And do you know what? I think we'll actually get this mech out, you know. I think we will. Let's have a look. All right. So JVC colour code generally colour code all of their different parts of the innards. So I see there's blue perimeter screws here. Now there's, if I just zoom back out a touch, basically we've got a blue one down here, we've got one here, and another one at the top just there, and then there's another one in the middle of the radio board there, and one on the edge, one at the back. So yeah, I reckon if we took out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 screws, I would imagine the whole shebang probably just comes straight out. There are other screws there as well, but yeah, so there's not too much going on really. But I wonder actually whether or not, for now, if we wanted to remove the cassette deck, let's have a look, without doing everything. And I can see the belt actually underneath there, which is quite nice. In fact, don't know if you'll see it just there, but there's the flywheel. So yeah, okay, well let's just have a quick look at this then. There's one more screw, I think. I left this in deliberately because quite often the motor is mounted to a plate rather than the actual, yeah, but this particular one's mounted directly also through to the radio board, so that was why. Right, I'm not going to do too much with this now because the original tape and everything else is still in there, and I don't really want to mess it about too much. So what I'm going to do is just bring you in, there we go, for a slightly different angle, just so as you can see it. So if you wanted to change the belt on this, and incidentally I'll go in and get rid of all that dust and stuff afterwards, but if you wanted to change the belt on this, you've literally got your 3 little screws. You can just see one there, and then one on each corner of the keeper plate. You can see the thrust adjustment screw just there. I'll just zoom out a touch. There we go. So you'd literally just pull that off, and there's your belt. It's actually, looks like about a 1.2mm square belt, and it's slightly on the loose side, but to be honest with you, it was playing okay, and I'm not going to be using this very much really, so I'm not going to bother changing that out today. But yeah, that's how you would change the belt on this particular one. Looks in nice condition generally. So I'm just gonna clean the switches a bit now, and just put it back together and give it a clean. I think the first thing is just to kind of go around and get up the worst of the free dust, as it were. The mechanism wasn't sticky or anything like that, so I'm not going to degrease it and re-lube it. No need for any of that sort of stuff today, to be honest with you. As I say, just a bit of a show and tell really, just to see what's inside. I'll clean the head, the capstan, pinch roller. I'll do that in a minute with some alcohol, but just getting the worst of the actual loose dust up first. So I'm just going to carry on and do that, and I'll be back in a second. So having removed a lovely little fluff ball, and that is literally just from the cassette mech, so always worth doing. And now I'm just going to go ahead now and clean the capstan and the heads. Looks pretty clean in there, to be honest. I mean, okay, yeah, sure, there was dust on there, but actually, as a unit, it's not too bad. So, I mean, the heads didn't look particularly dirty. There was some ferrite on the capstan when we did a test earlier, wasn't there? But and you can see that straight away, actually. Okay, well, I'll just carry on cleaning this, and then we'll get it screwed back down, I think. Slightly out of view, but I'm just giving the erase switch a bit of a clean. Won't have been used for quite some years, so I'm just going to do that before I put the deck back in. Now to get these screws back in. So I've just dropped the screws back in. So we've got the ones that mounted the deck, but also, as I say, the blue ones, if we'd have got those out, we could have lifted everything out in one go if we'd wanted to. But I just want to give a bit of a clean to this radio selector switch. And a tiny bit of lubricant in there as well. All right, all that remains then is to give everything a bit of a wipe and a wash, and we can get it back together. Although I did say first I was going to just try and clean the potentiometers a little bit. I'm going to try and cheat actually and see if I can just get a couple of drops of alcohol into the sides of the pots. And just work them back and forth, and do the same for the other one. Hopefully we can just get a couple of drops, as I say, slightly out of frame for you guys, but that should just soak through. Just working that back and forth, maximum range of extension and motion. Good. Just checking some of the transistors while I'm here. Okay, so I've cleaned up the knobs here. They've come up really nicely, and I've given everything a general wipe over. I'll give it a final polish up once I get it back together as one unit. So just going to connect the speakers back up. And try and remember how this hinged back on. There we go. Easy as that in the end. So just screw it back together again. I'm just going to give it a final decent polish, get the knobs back on, and that'll be that. So here it is then, the RC-222LB from JVC. Hard to believe this thing's 45 years old. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's in fantastic condition. So we haven't done anything with it really today, just had a look inside really, just for curiosity's sake. Seen how we get to the various circuits if we needed to, and also how to change the belt should we require. But yeah, this belt's not in too bad a condition. It's seen better days really, but it's not going to get used much. So I thought I'd just do a quick show and tell today. Everything works on it really. It's a lovely little bit of kit, very sweet to look at, a nice one for the collection more than anything else. So yeah, all we've really done is had a look inside today, see what's what with it, and give it a bit of a deep clean and a polish the aerial, clean the pinch roller, capstan and the heads. Yeah, just had a look around, see how we change the belt if we needed to. But basically, here she is. So let's have a quick listen then. So we're on radio now.
Just a little things that get me high, keep me going. Just a little bit of you and nobody knows it.
And if we just quickly squiz through the channels here, we can hear lots of different stations
coming on the programme. Alan,
I mean, it's,
your experience of
there's
holiday.
just loads and loads and loads. So
Simon Parkin.
BBC Radio.
So FM is absolutely lovely on this. Can't get much on AM at the moment, to be honest, but then you can't tend to where I am at the moment in this room. So, but yeah, the FM is wonderful. The radio is very selective and sensitive as well. So let's have a listen to the tape while we're here then. So what have we got? Here we go.
First we need to spend all night. So let me check you out. I love wait.
And if we fast forward it, works well, and rewind. As I say, the belt on it actually wasn't in that bad condition. It wasn't terribly deformed and it wasn't that loose really. So I've just let Sleeping Dogs lie for now. But I do love these high-vis little stickers that you've got to show you which button's pressed. But there she is. So as I say, all the way from 1978, so she's 45 years old now, and yeah, just lovely. So just one for the collection really. I thought I'd just give you a little bit of a show and tell, show you what it's like inside, see how it's built, and do you know what? Wasn't it really easy to get into? 3 little screws on the bottom, then the top plate just hinges off, disconnect the 2 speaker cables, and away you go. So that's how you get to all of that. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks very much for watching. Please do consider subscribing for boomboxes, 8 tracks, personal stereos, all kinds of stuff. So yeah, great to have you on board. Thank you very much for those that do support the channel already. That's fantastic, much appreciated. Anyway, that's all for me for today. So thanks very much for watching. Stay safe and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
Such a